Anyway, if you want the real answers to the question, though, obviously you want me to mention it, but it's my mod.
Yes. Talk about your mod.
So I'm making a mod for new Super Mario Bros. Wii that thematically puts different Mario Galaxy levels into the game, but with new Super Mario Bros. Style level design.
Basically combining Galaxy with Mario Bros. Wii, putting it in the game.
Technically, this has already been done as well.
Has it?
But in a different style. So there was a mod that a person called Asu-chan was making.
Right.
Called New Super Mario Bros. Wii The Prankster Comets, which took the Comet style and put them in the base game NSMBW levels. Whereas in my case,
Comet
it's the inverse of what I'm doing.
Okay.
It was cancelled, unfortunately, and the sources are still out there, so you can still technically play it, but you'd have to compile it yourself.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate, but it was actually looking really promising as well.
Sounds quite
cool.
Because
they did every single Comet they could have done outside of, I believe, Romp and Double Time, where Romp is the one where you have to kill the enemies before the time runs out, and then Double Time is just fast foe.
That's cool.
But they did like Purple Comets, they did Clone Comets, they did Cosmic Comets, they did Speedy, they did Daredevil. And it was really, really interesting. But that's like the complete inverse of what I'm doing. Because what they did, were they taking specific like concepts and challenges from the Stars of Galaxy and putting them in the new Super Mario Bros. Wii base game levels. Whereas in my case, I am taking the galaxies themselves and putting them into the base game level design. Where it is quite literally it's hard to describe, but it's quite literally the flip, the other way around.
What galaxies have you like shown off so far? I've forgotten the name of them, but the few that you've shown off so far, they're looking really good. Like you've made like how many tile sets, like based off of everything, and
well, every single level thus far, I believe, is using at least 2.
Yeah, like from what he's shown, like I don't know a lot about modding.
So I've done as of right now. I've done. What I haven't done, I've started conceptually. Beat Block Galaxy, Toy Time Galaxies, that's finished. Boy Base Galaxy, that's finished, or Boy Base. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the B-U-O-Y. I think it is Boy. Supermassive Galaxy, Dreadnought Galaxy, Honey Hive Galaxy, Flash Black Galaxy, which I really want to finish soon, but I can't think of anything to do with it.
Right.
Cloudy Court Galaxy, which is done except the tile set. I want to redo that because
I think you've shown off. I think the first time you spoke about it to me, I think you were showing Cloudy Court, and just the idea of
Toy
it.
Time actually, because I did Toy Time last
I think it was Toy Time, but then you shown off Cloudy Court. I don't know.
Yeah, that was I think next.
But just that looks so cool to me, and you spent. Yeah. I know you spent. What is it? No. You were really struggling with beat block because making the beats work in Mario Bros. Wii was weird.
It was the timing themselves is fine. It's the fact that there is no such thing in the game that allows tiles specifically, not objects, but tiles to change at a certain point in time.
Right.
So as this level starts right now, it can be completely fine. You won't have any problems. But the moment that you take damage, the moment that you collect a power up, the moment that someone like bubbles or something like that, or the moment you go through a pipe, the music will continue playing, but the beat blocks will be synced as if the pause in time happened. So therefore, the beats would be completely out of sync, and there is nothing I can do to that. Someone has actually offered to code an object that allows me to change things with the bar kind of thing, but they haven't done it yet because they've been stressed with school and stuff. So it's going to be very, very difficult. But
yeah, I can imagine that's probably one of the biggest problems, I'm assuming. But
the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be a pain because, it's not the game itself. Mario Bros. Wii is, has nothing even remotely similar to that.
Yeah, I can't do anything with that. On the other galaxies I have done as well, Cosmic Cove isn't done at all. It was like I made the worst tile set ever and showed it for about half a second in the trailer. That's all you guys have seen from it. Absolutely all of it.
That trailer that you made, like the first one, the announcement one, it popped off really well. But I think you've shown a bit of behind the scenes of it, and it was so like like so.
I showed
like,
it to you. I
makeshift
showed
and
it to
done.
you guys. I didn't show it like publicly. I've showed
Yeah,
it in my
it was shown
server as well, the
privately.
actual mod server. But
It
like
was
Ham is the
very,
only person who's played it thus far,
That's fair.
outside of me, obviously.
Like what was in the trailer was like not even remotely close to done, which is a normal thing in trailers. But like,
Only 3 of the levels were done by that point.
yeah, but I just find it really interesting how that's what you're doing, and
It's
I am really looking forward to it. Like that is definitely something I really want to play when it comes out.
Yeah, kind of what I know. SBG, he was like the reason it was the trailer popped off as well,
Oh yeah,
because the trailer was getting a decent traction to begin with. It was getting like 10 views an hour, which that was really good
it was pretty good.
for me. And then SBG posted into his server as it was. You know how like it sometimes starts to die down a little bit.
Yeah,
He posted it in his server, which allowed it to level out again. And because it leveled out, I think it just got pumped into the algorithm at some point. And I started getting, like, I kid you not, I think one day I got like 10,000 views
that's insane.
on it in one day. And now it's at like 4. I mean, it's flatlined completely now, obviously. It's peaked at about, right now I think it's like 104,000.6.
That is really
Which
cool.
is unimaginably high for me.
Yeah, that is huge. And I am really looking forward to seeing this, like, as it gets more developed. But,
What
like,
makes it even sadder is the fact that if you take into account the amount of levels that I have started, and imagine I finish all those levels, that's only going to be about a third of the mod.
third of the mod.
I've got a long way to go.
A long way.
So the most recent galaxy I did was Loop-de-Loop, and that is more or less finished, outside of a couple tile set things I want to do. The one I am working on now, which I have not actually said to anyone, mind you,
Right.
is Bubbleberries.
Oh,
So,
how is that going to work?
the new Super Mario Bros. Games have a water ball object.
Right.
That means I can. They're these big bubbles. You don't think that's it. It's just out of my head. Yeah. They are these big balls of water
Right.
that you swim in.
Yeah.
And they have 3 different shapes. They can move around a lot. So I was thinking I could just thematically put bubbleberries in with the poison water and like the weird rock spike things. And just make it a bubble level.
Yeah, so I guess, like, gameplay-wise, functionally, it won't be anything remotely similar, but the theming, it will be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for.
And that's really
with
cool.
Loop-de-Loop. It doesn't play at all like how Loop-de-Loop would play, because that's a
Loop-de-Loop.
custom manta ray surfing object.
Yeah, you've turned it into an auto-scroller, which is very similar to what it's like in the actual game.
It's an auto. I had to do an auto scroller to make it feel close.
Yeah, I feel like if it wasn't an auto-scroller, if it wasn't an auto-scroller, I don't think it would work.
It wouldn't work. Well, it would work, but it wouldn't feel like the Galaxy.
Yeah,
It would feel like its own thing.
and I feel like that's part of the theming. It has to do that.
One of the problems I've got with the mod as well is that there's a lot of like. There's obviously not going to be very many clashes for theming.
Right.
Like when there is a theming clash, like Beach Bowl and Sea Slide, I'm just going to do one of them. Like I don't need to do both. It's pretty obvious that it's going to be the same level twice.
Yeah.
Like same with Gold Leaf and Honey Hive. I'm not going to do
Yeah,
Gold Leaf.
I was just
Honey
thinking
Hive.
that. It's pretty much the same thing, just different kind of like season, I guess.
Yeah, and
So-
if I'm going to do a gimmick for Honey Hive, what am I going to do for Toys? Not Toy Time. It's Gold Leaf.
Yeah. So
There's just nothing I can do with that.
one thing on my mind is how are the worlds going to work? Is it going to be like a world per dome kind of thing?
Oh,
or-
it's all going to be one big world. The Comet Observatory is going to be the hub, ideally.
So
Like Newer has these. Like,
oh yeah, because it's based off
2D
Newer, isn't it?
It's based off Newer, so it has these 2D flat like hub. So it's all going to be one big world, ideally. Which
Okay, yeah,
obviously
that's
it's going to
really
have
cool.
the levels are going to be staggered, but there isn't going to be a progression where you see the world changes. It's just going to be climbing the observatory.
I like that a lot.
And I've got a really good visualization of it in my head. I am terrified to actually put it in game.
Well,
So
good luck
because it's
with
a flat,
that.
because bear in mind it's flat. It's not a model. It's flat.
Right.
That's how they work, and it's tile set as well. So anyway, I was talking about how there are a couple of thematic clashes, which
Right.
I mean I can dodge by just doing one of the levels that have them.
I guess
But
combine
the problem
them,
I've got actually is the gimmicks. There are a lot of clashes for gimmicks, unfortunately,
Right.
where there are some levels which I can make it really distinct and easy, but then there are other levels where I feel like I could do both different thematically, but what can I change about the gimmick? So, big example of this is actually Loop to Loop and Bubble Breeze. To allow mechanical progression during the level design in Loop to Loop, I got rid of the water at the bottom and replaced it with some water balls that move. So it allows it's a bit more difficult, a bit more scary. But then the direct next level is about water balls entirely, and it's kind of a clash in a way.
What if you were to combine them into one level?
I can't do that. They're too different.
That's
They're way too different. And likewise, I want to do Bubble Blast Galaxy, and I don't have the guts to put bubbles in that one. And I was thinking about using something that's completely irrelevant to bubbles entirely for that level.
right.
Like there's this chain elevator thing that exists in the game
Chain
that slowly goes up. That slowly,
Oh,
I think it's
yeah.
like six tower, I think, where you're outside and it just goes
Yeah.
up. But it wouldn't feel like the galaxy anymore. Like obviously it'd look like it, but it wouldn't feel like it.
Yeah, I think
So if I want to do that galaxy, I'm gonna have to stray away from it or repeat myself, which will feel a bit weird.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be quite difficult to do some aspects of things if you're trying to keep it as faithful to the base game as possible. But there are many things that you just can't do in Mario Wii.
Like one galaxy I really, really want to do is Ghostly Galaxy from 1.
That would be a cool one.
But the fact that it's a building
Yeah.
means I'm going to have the most packed, unbelievably detailed tile set that I'm going to have to make.
Yeah. How
Out
are you
of
gonna
galaxy
do that?
textures modelled. And it's I don't think I have the guts to do that. I think I'll probably base it off the second star, which is a very spooky sprint.
I
But
feel
then how
as
am I going
if-
to do that?
Yeah. I'm sure there's going
could
to be a
do
lot of
tile set for that,
galaxies
but
that are going to be
not the
very
gimmick.
tricky to do.
Yeah, there are a few that I'm... The worst, actually, is the Bowser ones.
Oh, yeah, those.
There is no way in... Also, in case it isn't obvious, I'm not putting any of the 1-star ones in, with one exception that I'm not going to say. Actually, I'm going to say, I'm going to put Sweet Sweet Galaxy in there. It's a very simple,
Sweet to be really
chilled
cool
one.
to do. Yeah, okay.
It's a conveyor one, so it might
Yeah.
work. But I think, how do I say it? The Bowser ones, tile set wise, I can make it really interesting, but none of them really have a proper gimmick outside of one, which I'm going to do, which is Fearsome Fleet from 2,
Right.
which is the Yoshi one, where you fight Mega Hammer.
Yeah, that one's cool.
I could do that one because that one is moving platforms where you're being shot at and stuff. I can do that, but literally all the other Bowser ones in both games either don't have a theme or have a theme I can't recreate. Or not a theme, sorry, a gimmick I can't recreate.
Yeah, and I can see that being a pretty big problem, especially when...
If you look at Galaxy 1 especially, all three of the Bowser Jr. ones, they revolve around one theme and it's just a boss fight, that's it. One is the first one for the Terrors is just the boss fight. The
boss
one
fight.
planet, then just going to the boss. The Bowser Jr. one, which is the Airship Armada, I can do, but then it will just be an airship level. It'll just be a basic airship level.
Yeah.
So, and the fifth one is just King Caliente again. The Bowser ones, they don't have... The only one that has a gimmick, or a specific one I can revolve the level around, is Dark Matter Plant, but that's gravity. I can't do gravity.
Yeah, anything gravity related you can do in Mario Wii, and a lot of galaxies, fun fact, in Galaxy, have gravity.
Actually, fun fact about the game as well. There is a mod that someone made that allows gravity to go upside down for everything.
Ooh, right.
But it is not compatible with newer.
Ah.
And I can't, therefore, I cannot use it. I think one more thing about the mod until I can move on, because I want you to be able to answer the question as well. because I've realised I have talked for like, how long have we been going for now? I think I've been talking
about
about
2
this
hours.
specific thing. Yeah, I've been talking about this mod for about 20 minutes now. I'm going to move on very
fine.
swiftly. One more thing I want to mention.
I do apologise if I've been pretty quiet. There's not a lot I can say, but it is really interesting to listen. It's fine.
One more thing I will mention is that I'm going to try and get nearly every single one of the main galaxies from the first game in.
Ooh.
The second game has too many.
The second game's a lot.
I feel like, because most of the galaxies in that game are like 3 stars.
Yeah.
With the exception of like a couple which are 2. There's no galaxy in that game outside of... No, I just don't think there isn't even an exception to that. There is no galaxy in that game that has only 1 star. So pretty much every single galaxy in the game is one of the main ones. And I cannot do that. So I'm kind of just pick and choosing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Just pick the ones that work best, just so you don't have to have anything which is yeah. Because then you don't really want like a bunch of like low quality ones. You just want like the best. Especially
since Galaxy 2 has a lot of clashes with themes.
A lot of clashes, a lot of galaxies to begin with.
Too many.
Yeah, too many.
I have had a really interesting idea for the ball levels though, the star ball ones.
Yeah, how are those going to work?
I know how to model replace, and one of the things I've already done, I model replace things with 1 bone, so no animations or anything.
Right.
What I did to allow for Chomp Works and Sky Station to work is I replaced the big spike ball things with chain chomps. So now there's a rolling chain chomps, which exist in the game. I'm going to do the exact same thing, because Newer has a thing called Sprite Text, which allows multiple models for the same object.
Right.
One of the Newer, by default, has 2 models for that, thankfully. So I can replace the other one, which is actually a snowball, with a star ball, and make an auto-scrolling, rolling gauntlet kind of thing.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, I like that.
The decision is therefore, which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to do Coaster, which is the Rainbow Road one.
To be fair, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Your turn.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the progression of this mod comes along. I have been very silent for the past 20 minutes. There's not a lot I can say. A lot of it is me trying to remember certain galaxies because I haven't played Galaxy in a while.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But from what I have seen from the mod, it is looking really good. I'm looking forward to it. But no, it shows the legal part of it. Because
you did also add the question so that I can speak about this. You're part to blame for this one. So
I am to blame. But no, I am happy that it's coming along well. I am really looking forward to seeing more of it as it develops.